Same question for me, or?
Yes. So what you are?
So
I don't know.
Okay,
Still working on project or just taking vacation? So.
wow, I love to take vacations. Luckily, I'm working currently on a big project. It involves a big client. I wouldn't say his name, Porsche. Currently, we are developing some software packages with the cloud readiness in mind, and the idea behind everything there is to make it cloud ready and to evolve their current, let's say, old stuff, old legacy information that they have to be able to run also on cloud. In order to achieve that, we hopefully apply the latest and newest information that SAP offers us. And with, I would say, a small team, in the last couple of years, we managed to build over 20 apps which improve their legacy apps in order to achieve their desired target. And to give a hint about what's there implemented is that they are building prototypes, so like racing cars or in that direction. And in order to achieve that, they have a really big pile of apps which are running currently only in the backend as currently we know it. But in order to achieve some sort of flexibility, so to have a phone or a tablet on them or even on the desktop, they decided to achieve this by migrating in the cloud direction. And I'm satisfied to say today was also go live for one of my products, for which I've worked for over 1 year, and the client were really satisfied because it helped them achieve a more robust implementation to their desired outcome, and also to speed up the process, so the manual work needed to in order to achieve that.
Okay, interesting. Let's go next. Adrian, scuze.
So my latest project, it's on the same customer, it's Porsche, and it's a project in the motorsport area. This means that the most interesting part was that I've seen the nice cars, the new cars. And then let's go to the project. It was a project who was built on the top of the new technologies, and we are trying the same like Călin does, to go in the cloud area and to move the current software and reports and code to the a modern one, the one who will run at the end in the cloud.
And still on ABAP? And
still on ABAP. I know ABAP and maybe new technologies, you don't see a equal sign, but yeah, we are going in that direction. There is no choice.
Yeah, that's interesting, because yesterday, trying to prepare some question you asked, I was taking a look at the code, and somehow, for me at least, was looking like, old Fox Pro code. And because that also database centric, and there looks like SQL more or less. And there's a question: how is this changing, and how new additions are added to the language? How do you I mean, like OP and all this kind of stuff. Okay.
Yes. We can switch between the answers. So basically, if I can give a brief update about the history of ABAP, we start around 1980s, where we have reporting stuff. Then in the 1990s, we go a step further in the procedural way, where we have enhancements there and so on regarding the database that you spoke of. 2000s, they see that OP is a big thing, so they implement it as well. 2012, they see a requirement to not get rid of the old implementation or the old IDE, where we develop the sub GUI and start using Eclipse like any Java developer. 2015, we see the rise of HANA with CDS and all the cool stuff, which is code push down to have a really fast requests about your data, and not just to retrieve the data, but also to compute the data on the memory level, which increase the performance quite big, I would say.
Usually it's running on premises or on cloud, or depends?
Depends. So usually, let's say like this, current environment with the current client landscape, they all run on premise, but the desired outcome in the future is that everything is on cloud. In order to do so, they have a really good strategy in that direction, that they still use what they used to till now. So not everything that you've learned up until now, it's obsolete. But on top of that, you can build that you are cloud ready. And they have really cool strategies there. Maybe in our breaks we can go deep, but let's say that for an ABAP, or how we call them, the nerds in ABAP, it's not a really big leap to learn ABAP Cloud based on your past knowledge, where you built up on what you said earlier on database, how to query them, how to write OOP stuff, and so on.
And one more question.
Yes, yes, yes.
In the cloud, so the cloud deployment is on SAP premises, or you can deploy it on Amazon, or I don't know.
Sadly, no, it's only on SAP basis. So for that, there was for some time as a buzzword HACP, HANA Cloud Platform. Sometimes in the 2018, if I remember correctly, they transformed it in the BTP, business technology platform. Thank you. Basically, it's the same thing, but it's a platform as a service, and all your cool stuff you deploy there. And cloud has SAP has three strategies here. One, it's like you said, on premise, where you have the physical servers. You need to buy RAMs, processors, storage, and so on, that you maintain them themselves. You have something of a hybrid form, where you have cloud, but private cloud. It's most of the same thing as the on-premise thing, but now all your hardware is on the cloud. But basically, you are still in your bubble. And sorry. And the latest one is public, ABAP Cloud Public, which is still on the SAP side. But basically what this latest and the newest technology offers us is that the deployment of products is instant, it's immediately made for all the customers. So in that way you have the speed of receiving the newest and latest without any hassle.
I see. Okay, sounds great. Let's yeah, if you want to.
Just a few words. For example, for digital manufacturing, the SAP is planning every quarter a deployment to the customer. So either way, you want it or you don't want it, they will have a deployment in the cloud. So all the customers who are using that app will have automatically an update.
I see. Interesting.
And I would like to say a few words. I know we are in a hurry, but it's important.
No, we are not so much hurry, so that's why we are staying. No.
When we are talking about the Fox Pro and the ABAP, it looks similar, and I had the same feeling because I was coming from the C# area, and then I started ABAP. Yeah, and so I started ABAP, and when I've seen it, I said, oh, what is going on? It's a step backward. And I asked somebody what SAP means. Does anybody know what SAP means? It means suffer and pain.
That's nice. Yes.
But then I've seen it's starting to develop, like C, for example. C has started as a procedural program language, and now they introduced the classes and OOP and so on. SAP does the same. Everybody's moving to the cloud. SAP does the same. It's on premise, it's on cloud. It depends on the customer, security issues. They will decide. But at the end, I think everybody will be forced to go to the cloud somehow.
Agree. Yeah, that's the idea. Let me. Okay, let's switch back. Okay, this sounds bad. Bianca, I don't know. I mean, you are around SAP, so tell us about Java in Spring. What I know you wrote some articles like this one with the retry and the previous one with some caching and pooling, right?
Yes, Spring Batch.
Spring Batch, exactly. Tell us how do you feel like writing Java Spring and what new things, like I'm not sure Spring Boot is new.
Oh no, it's pretty old.
It just got to me.
Yeah. The newest thing that I saw from Spring is Spring GraphQL. So they integrated with GraphQL as well, which is pretty awesome. Because I worked on GraphQL before without Spring, and it was a struggle.
Okay.
But we have a lot of new things, and as you know, probably that Java comes with a new version every half a year, maybe, or something like that. They introduced a lot of great stuff, like
the long-term version or the other version.
The other version.
Ah, okay.
But we have some stuff that.
Can you play it? Work with the?
Not really.
Not really, right?
Yeah, because they can be removed in the new version, and you don't want to risk it. Yeah. And we are going for long runs right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we do a lot of modernization. Like we have things on-prem that are really old, and now we are creating POCs and going to the cloud. And we are not doing a one-on-one copy. We want to enhance what we have and get rid of the things that are redundant or we don't want to move them.
And about the new stuff you were starting to say?
We have records now, which are immutable DTOs. We also have text blocks. You know, you don't have to \n everything. You just put 3 quotes, enter your text block, and the next 3 quotes. We also have gatherers, which are for streams. They are like collectors, but are the improved version. So if you have memory issues or performance issues, use that. There are other features like what I saw in the latest version of Java. You don't have to, when you say Java, you think about public static void main. Now you don't need the
class
static.
Loaders,
Yeah,
like
it will be instance method the main, and if you write the main method directly, you don't need to put the like the class.
Okay, so I got the idea. I think we need to write an article on this.
I gave you a lot of new ideas.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from time to time, I was writing an article about what's new in Java, and that's how I got in touch with them. But it seems like a lot of stuff already.
Yeah, a lot of stuff changed right now. I'm curious to see the latest stable version that we can use.
Yeah, might not be so many surprises there, but yeah. And talking about SAP and Java, how do you, I'm trying to find something common here. How do you implement the business logics?
Well, of course.
Because that's SAP about, more or less.
I think they are more connected with the business side, because whenever you as a Java developer, when you need to implement anything, the first thing you think about is the code. Like, there's nothing else. It's how to structure the code, how to put everything to work. The business is like in the service. You don't really think. Yeah. You are thinking about how to manage the code. Like, that's the start. But I think there are
that would be interesting to see your approach about this. I mean, definitely you are more close to the business, right? And you talk with customer, you understand what you are doing there, as opposed to a regular software developer who don't care and just got some task from the Scrum Master or whoever.
You hit the nail on top. So basically the biggest challenge that we have most of the time, it's not to write the code, because that part you can do it, given it hours or days or months. Up until the end you will find a solution. The most challenging part is to understand the client, to see what he needs, and based on what he needs, basically there is a high probability that there is a module or there is a SAP standard solution from where you can either reuse it or take some notes from
so you
that.
have some kind of library or all projects?
similar like the Java libraries, but here we are talking about ERPs, so the enterprise resource planning, where you have the standard solution for a quite large variety of business needs. And basically you are like a little child having Lego blocks, and you have to choose which Lego block you want to use now. And based on that, you have already a working solution out of the box. Or if the standard solution doesn't fully achieve your needs, you have always the possibility to adjust it based on your needs.
So basically all the SAP developer needs to talk with the customer more or less, and
yes.
Okay, that's it. So you're more definitely more on business.
Yeah. So basically, there is from software perspective, there is two great perspectives on how you deliver a product. You either deliver the product as a template and gone with it afterwards. You don't have any possibility to patch it or to upgrade it, or the other way around, where you have a really fixed solution like our Microsoft Office suites, where you have the final product, and basically I need something extra or I need some new functionality. Then it's a pain in the ass to achieve some sort of customization. SAP lies not in between, but in the middle of them, where you deliver some standard code, but based on your needs you can adjust it. And yeah, they saw great opportunities in very large areas like automotives or insurance or whatever business. So I've heard in the last weeks about going also in the direction of military, if that's a thing for someone.
Yeah.
And or public sector and so on. And based on that, you just pick one product that the client needs. So it's not just as simple as you bring up a library and that's it. But based on what the client needs, what he buys, and at the end of the day from SAP, he receives a product and afterwards he needs to customize it. This is not a small task, so it's not like I'm tweaking some parameters here and that's it. It's quite a big workload, but based on the speed that you can deliver, it's much, much faster in this approach as building it from scratch. Or on the other hand, trying to have a standard product which you try to then tweak it on your needs, which you see it's quite hard to fulfill based on the accessibility to that source code.
I see. Okay, good. Let's go to Adrian. Adrian, how long is this kind of project takes? I mean, you start with a customer, you continue with 4 years with that customer, or you can just...
Yeah, you can
how
continue
is this usually working?
Years to have an end product, because the testing is very important, and the legacy and so on. Yeah, in general there are big projects, but there are also small ones. The small ones, normally there are bug fixing, small reports, but
okay, so you add more reports and stuff like this, right? Yeah. And
we can go also in this area of reporting, but there are also connection with the other systems.
And one more thing, I mean, if the solution is on premises at the client, how do you integrate with that during the development? I mean, or you deploy everything here, or you go there and
we work on the client system.
Oh, so
we develop there.
So you go there. Okay.
We got the user, we got the rights.
Okay, so you integrate directly in production.
Yeah.
Not production.
Most when we are talking of the production, it's a different talk, because there is a development system. Once this is good done, then we move it to the test system, which is different. When it's tested, then we move it to the production system. When we say we move it, it means we send the packages, but at the end the client must approve that this will go there.
Okay.
So he will choose at the end.
And how powerful are usually are really powerful or not necessarily?
They are really powerful.
Okay.
And because just shortly with the Java you can create business logic. This is obvious. But then ABAP comes, step in, and I will tell you some abbreviations. ABAP means Advanced Business Application Programming. So this is the next level. That's why it was created. I'm the guy with the abbreviations.
That's great.
So it's working with a huge amount of data, and it's really fast, and that's why I'm still here and not going back to the C#, like I said at the beginning.
Okay.
So
yeah, that was a question really that was in my mind. So as an ABAP developer, can you go to other language, or I mean, what's the next?
Like my colleague says, it's not a problem of the language.
Agree.
A Java guy can learn it, but the business logic behind this is something that
it's got a lot of
years.
Tables and lot of,
because it's an environment, it's a box, and you have to work with what is in the side box, and it gets time to.
And do you have in the team some really good guys who knows everything and you can go and ask, or not?
We don't have a guy who knows everything. For all the rest, we have Călin.
Okay, that's good to know. Nice. Okay, let's go then to Călin back. Călin, what do you apply any design patterns there? Do you have anything like this or not?
Quite a lot. I think my latest one was, I'm really proud of it because it was taken as a standard and applied to all the apps. So currently, I think we built over 20 apps, and it's a design pattern that our German colleagues, our German counterparts said, wow, cool solution, we need to standardize it. It's a combination of command pattern and facade, but throughout the years everything is possible because I've built from chain of responsibility to the simple singleton, which I think everybody learns at the beginning of their career as an object-oriented programmer. And basically I started learning Java in my university team years, and then jumped in ABAP world in a matter of months, but that was, as Adi said, it's a small box where you don't have to relearn something new. It's just like speaking, you know the concept behind it, you just need to pick up the right word for it. So in Romanian you say something, in English you say something else, but the meaning behind it is the same. So object-oriented, it's object-oriented with Java or C# or something else. Hopefully I didn't say anything stupid, because C# I don't know, but Java is still I
you still know Java. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, I cannot. I try to forget it and I cannot.
And fun fact: a couple of years ago, I did also a Java project, and it was quite a breeze to rethink about the old days where I learned Java. So basically, once I knew ABAP, it was easy to ping between the two languages.
Okay, nice. No, let's go back to Bianca. Bianca, I know, do you use any, I mean, for sure you have a lot of design patterns
a lot,
there.
yeah.
Now tell us few, okay.
Oh, from the builder factory to
Yeah,
the
there's
singleton to the
spring stuff.
decorator to the visitor, everything.
Okay, and you know, due to this all AI stuff, are you using any AI?
Oh yeah,
Copilots.
we are heavily encouraged to use AI. I'm currently using Copilot, and for
is it helping? I mean,
yeah, with a lot of stuff. Well, of course, it has mistakes, and maybe if you get the code and just run it, you'll have it won't work. But that's why you are there, like to fix it, to change it as you wish. It helps a lot when you're blocked with something. You know, you're out of ideas, you don't know what to do, and the Copilot
just
is
say,
there.
okay, find a solution or give me the code for this.
Oh, well, you can do that as well. I'm not using it like that. I'm like, okay, can you suggest some ideas? And based on the ideas, I'm getting like the start of the solution. And based on that, everything goes as normal. It's like the consultant you never had, like.
Like SAP.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be interesting to have. Yeah, to work like this with a consultant, and I mean, because usually Java developers, this is how they work, right?
Yeah.
Someone needs to tell, okay, this is
the
the
rubber duck method.
Usually, if I'm thinking to my friends, they don't care about any business. They just, you know, what do you need to do, and that's it. They don't want to mess up, more or less.
Yeah, the majority of Java developers are like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me see. Yeah, I have one more question. If you will be to, if someone will come to an interview, what will be the, two questions that you will ask? Or three, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm usually, when it's
what you are looking for?
Yeah, what I'm looking for is someone to describe what they are working on, and after I get the idea, I start to go in depth. Like, okay, you are saying you're running your API on what? How is the architecture? What did you use? What did you overcome? How do you increase performance? Like, I want to see how they think and how they go into depth, not just explaining something like to a non-technical person.
Yeah, but if you do like this, how you will evaluate them at the end if are like 10 people, right? With each of them being very specific. There might be it will be very subjective, right?
Yeah, but when we go into depth, I go like, okay, what CI/CD tools do you use? And they start to tell me. And how did you configure it? What was your part in it?
Okay, so we have this kind of question.
Yeah, we are going into depth with pretty on-point things. We are not just like talking freely, but talking on.
And are you asking, I don't know, to see if they know the base like OP and all this, or you just
I had the basic question like what's a hash map and things like that.
Okay.
And I was surprised to see that people with over 20 years of experience don't remember. I say remember, I don't think they didn't learn it at some point.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. But I like holding interviews. Like, yeah, you get to know different people and different ideas and different things.
Yeah, at the end you can find out more on during interview. Yeah, the only thing with the interview is, I know, I was talking with some of my volunteers at IT Days, and they got issues like if there are two people doing the interview, then one of them they might want to show off to the other who probably is his boss.
I hate that.
That might happen.
I took a lot of interviews with colleagues that were in higher positions or with more experience, and they all had this thing like, let's meet up 5 minutes before, because this is what I ask when I see that they know a lot of stuff. It's something very particular that they discovered during a difficult task, and they just want to pinpoint to see if the person in question knows that. But I don't think that's a good approach, because you don't care about super complex things, because the job you will not do that on the job, you know.
Exactly.
And for that, if you're really stuck in something really complex, you have AI now. Or Google.
Yeah, you can find. I start to ask also, ChatGPT, especially with the SAP. I was playing last night a little bit. And so coming back to the same question, what do you ask for an interview?
Tough question.
For, I don't know, few years of experience, maybe 5 or something like this.
So for 5, okay, you narrowed it down. Basically, the past projects. Based on that, I can get a really good baseline from where to go there. So my style, maybe it's not the most best one, but that's what I run with. I've tried to look up our possible new colleague on 2 axes. One is how good there is a match with him, with as human-to-human connection, I would say. And that's based on how he answered mostly on the technical part, but after he starts answering the project sides, what project he made, what roles he had there, and so on and so forth, maybe at the end of the meeting I wouldn't add any technical questions, because based on that I see what he did and if it's a good match. Otherwise, if there isn't a match on that part, because I see that the projects were quite simple or maybe in that direction, then maybe I will start pulling up some classical questions like what you do with OP. I received also a funny answer there. a guy with over 15 years of experience. He said, oh, it's a new stuff, so that's why I'm implementing it. Why? You can do it procedural way, and it's the same thing. It's not a high demand to make it OP. But that based on that baseline, basically, I know, okay, my top question is when I enter in an interview, would I work with that person? Yes or no? That's the main
That's
point
really interesting. Yeah, really
that I want to take out from that interview.
So that might be more than the technical skills. That
yes. In our department, basically, it's quite hard to be module specific, so the business specific behind it. But basically, if you see that he had some skills in that direction, I know that he will be able to shift his business knowledge into other systems and other
so
models.
Now if someone is saying me that he didn't pass the MHP interview, I can say, okay, maybe
we
you are
didn't
not
have
so
a match
connection. You didn't know
No.
it before. Okay, that's nice. I mean, yeah, that's a good, very interesting approach. Adrian, how do you see the interviews?
I can tell you what Călin says was true.
Okay.
I had the interview with him. And yeah.
Should I say that you two look together? You look the same. I mean, you are the kind of same characters, or
it might be. Yeah, it's easy to work together. For the interview, yeah, the same two approach. One is the human approach. Of course, we had the feedback from the HR guys. This is also important. But then we are trying to see how much he knows in which area. Not go to specific questions. Don't try to come with traps. Just let him be and explain what he did, and then we go specific, like our colleague, and go with the questions in deep questions. How this was done? What problem did you had, and stuff like that.
Okay, good. Let's see if you have any question from the audience. Bogdan?
There are 2 points. One, HR will help us and tell, look, I think maybe this is a bit different than the other one. But if we have 2 the same, and we see that is at the same level, then we go to a personal feeling, how to say it. It's never about the technical. We will not go to a test. This is not important because he will learn. And the projects are so different that it's maybe not important what he learned in the past. But if he has a structured mind, good logic, nice as a person because we have to interact with the customers, then this counts a lot.
I would add also some pragmatic parts here. Depends on the candidates or our projects. There is also a possibility to evaluate them hardcore, I would say, where we have points and so on. So we do have also metrics in the pipeline, but that's not quite in the direction of project specific, but to the startup specific. So when we have a lot of students, the HR colleagues help us a lot through their funnels. But at the end, we have around 90, 100 candidates from which we need to pick up. And there we have concrete metric systems by asking the questions. So previous question was for a colleague which is 5 years of experience. Hopefully we have to choose in the future. As I saw it throughout the years, it's not often that case that a lot of candidates match the requirements that we are looking. But going back, when we have students or we have startups in mind, there we have a really good metric system where we decide, okay, does he know technical parts? Yes. Does he have additional skills like German? Because ABAP sadly is German driven, so it's quite a big plus to have that as well. I know it's a pity, but it's the way it is. So based on all those things, at the end, there are quite a few markers who help us pick up, and it's really on point, and it's not subjective. Okay, I had a good feeling with him or not. And on the other part, when we have a 5-year plus experience where we are looking specific for the project, there mainly there is also a differentiate based on their past projects or past experience, where we say, okay, it's not the same to have a guy who worked for 20 years or one guy who worked 5 years. It's not the same for a guy who had 10 projects with different roles, or a guy who had 10 projects who had always bug fixing and so on. So based on that evaluation, it's also a little differentiate between the candidates. But let's hope you said it right, and we have so many candidates with top possibilities that we have to choose a little bit subjectively.
Okay, Bianca, do you want to add anything more?
No, it's quite the same, and the willingness to learn something new. It's what I'm searching for as well, to see if the person in question wants to develop, to continuous learning and everything.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, that's my story. So usually the best person you can hire is the one you can hire without interview. That's the best approach. And I have done this and was working pretty well. And secondary, it's ideal if you can start to work with the person, and let's say if after 1 month you decide, okay, that's not okay, you can say, okay, thank you, no hard feeling. I think that's also once you because it's important, considering that you will work with that person for years. You should have this opportunity that, okay, if you convince me in 2 hours that you are the best person, maybe in 1 month I realize that something is missing there that I didn't cover. So you should have this option to say, no, okay, let's stop here.
It's idealistic because we are in the business and we're working with projects and you get
Yeah, but
person and it's meant for a project and then you say, it's not working out, and you have to take him or her out of the
yeah, you should have this option, because you will fix in this way a lot of.
You have the probation period, so
Okay, so
if it really goes bad, then you can actually.
yeah, but that's which is 1 month or how much? 3 months. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean with 3 months it's even better. But
I would say everybody's sad when you have to.
yeah, but it's good thing for everyone, because you don't want to have someone who is not integrating with your team, and even for them, they might be too hard to. There might not be a matching.
But I would say overall, we try not to.
Agree.
Get there, but you have the probation period of 3 months.
Ah, okay. And you can terminate it even faster.
You can terminate it any day
Okay.
in the 3-month span.
Ah,
So you can terminate it on the day.
that's a good protect. I mean, once you say, okay, you are with us, then yeah, they can go there for years.
They can leave you.
Ah,
on this.
so it's the same. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I think we got some very good discussion. I'm glad we put together Java and SAP developers finally. I continue to do this. Let's give a round of applause to our speakers. And yeah, I know, have a nice, Happy New Year, and yeah, burger, and yeah. And we'll see you next probably in February only, because in general will be online only event. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and now we can go and